So first and
Indeed.
foremost, say that again.
Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed. So first and foremost, Velma, 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 Velma. Now we have you for a limited time, Andre, and I'm aware you are semi-familiar with this. So
Yeah, I am.
I want to know your thoughts because I've got thoughts. I've been doing videos on this from time to time, and I thought we'd just talk about it here today because it has now been confirmed to be the worst rated animated show ever on IMDb, as well as the third worst rated normal show on IMDb.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That is, I don't love the show, but I love the response. I love the universal condemnation. That is something I love. I
Mm.
do. What I really like about it is that since they decided to go woke with it, like they went all the way, they didn't hold anything back. And I
Oh
like
yes.
that. I respect that. I appreciate that. That they decide that, you know what, we're really going to go for it here on this one. Everyone is going to know
Mm.
exactly what we are about. And I prefer that to the more sneaky, insidious things, like the Batman, for instance. Which I dislike very much for that reason. But this one, it's all out in the open. It doesn't hide anything. It proudly displays exactly what it is, and the audience is rejecting it wildly. And like it's too woke even for woke folk. And that's kind of like what I like with when we're dealing with a toxic ideology like this. The best
Mm.
way to do something about it is just take it to the ridiculous extreme. Because, yeah, that way you are going to just further radicalize some people, but the big silent masses, they're going to be more woken up to what the hell is this and what is going on. And that's exactly what
Mm.
is needed to fight back against this. So, in that regard, I'm a huge fan of this series because it's just absolutely awful, mean, nasty, Rossicist, sexist, misogynist, what have you. It's like, I didn't think that this kind of like what's the word I'm looking, this kind of bigotry as we're seeing on display in this series, I didn't think that was even possible this day and age.
Oh, it's
I mean,
awful.
I have no qualms about comparing this more or less to like Warner's famous Band 11, you know, like the
Mm.
old timey cartoons that really went all the way with stereotype stuff like that. I don't know
Yeah.
if this is as bad or worse or not quite there, or I don't really know. Like it's
I'd
obviously
say it's worse because
hard.
it's intentional, Andre.
Yeah,
Like, at
I
least with a
agree.
lot of that,
It
you
is
can chalk
worse.
up to just pure ignorance
Yeah,
that you were,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
this is just mean spirited. This just reveals everything about the people making it, and that's also like something that I kind of like with the things that just go all the way overboard. You can tell so much about the people writing it because this is like their
Mm.
therapy session. And it only goes to show just how messed up these people behind this is. So yeah, I actually approve of this for the kind of like exposure it does. I mean, Project Veritas couldn't have done a better job exposing the madness.
You got a good point there, actually.
Yeah, like there ain't no better exposure of the madness than this kind of product. I mean, I will say the same thing that I said about She-Hulk, which is about my basic review for this. This
Mm.
is a cry for help.
Yeah.
This is the people writing, producing, everyone who was involved with this collective thing is their collective cry for help. They're lost and they don't know. They have completely lost their way and they need help.
Well,
Come back to
it's just
reality.
a, I mean, look at this for a headline. Fred has a tiny penis and Daphne deals drugs in a Scooby Doo prequel. I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
And also, let's not forget that that Scooby now is a woman, so that
Mm.
she can have a sexual relationship with Shaggy. Like, I heard this
Yeah, that was
before I
weird. That was a really
realized
weird thing.
that Scooby had been like gender and race bent quite literally.
Mm.
So like the first I heard was that, oh, Shaggy is banging Scooby now. I was like first thinking, what the hell? They even went there into like bestiality, but no, they did some race bending first. But yeah,
No, that was supposedly debunked. His upcoming girlfriend in the show is named Gigi.
well, I'm sure they're going to be really straight edge and be in an
Though
asexual
somebody did say that
relationship.
in his phone there was somebody with the name Scrappy.
Yeah, goodness me. Goodness me. I mean, it's every stereotype under the sun, this show. It absolutely is. Like I said, this is a headline. You
Even
know,
with
Fred at the
Austin
time
Powers
needed.
style nude scenes, I have to admit I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, this the sort of the mindset behind the creation of the show is so bizarre because well, one, I mean, it's mask off moment anyway because they're constantly like, "Oh, I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan." Well, we thought about they're apparently such fans, and yet they're professing they're like, "Well, who knew that Velma was the brains behind the solving the mysteries?" Like everyone, idiot. Everyone knew she was the brains. I mean, it's the archetype, it's the stereotype. She had glasses, she was the smart one. Everyone knew she was the one solving the mystery. Everyone knew she was solving the mysteries. She wasn't the unsung hero. Everyone who watched the show knew she solved the mysteries. And they're like, "Oh, so we thought we'd give her the limelight." Everyone. Everyone knew she was solving the mysteries. What show were you watching? That you were such fans of? And they're like,
Well,
"Oh, well,
they
this
evidently
is
weren't watching it.
yeah, obviously." And then they're like, "Oh, well, this is the show. We thought we could do anything. So this is the show of about where they started, and then they became the mystery gang." It's like, well, how did they change race then? For goodness sake, how did you get Fred, Daphne dealing drugs? Like, what? What is this show? God, and it's so consistently nasty in its approach to comedy. Like it's not like comedy can be all encompassing and there's many facets to comedy, of course. But this is very just one note. It's very referential and very mean spirited. It's just consistent, one after the other, constant, constant, constant. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. So what, Paulie? You're looking very thoughtful
Yes.
there. Give us your thoughts.
Well, I haven't seen it. Well, that's not true. I saw 5 minutes and I couldn't stand it. So I was, listening to you guys in one ear and then reading an article on this. So even this is universally loathed.
Yeah,
Teen Vogue. That's an article. I'm reading an article from Teen Vogue. They hate it. They hate it because they're saying it perpetuates internalized racism, which I think is brilliant because that, Hollywood is really good at that, right? They'll put up the token, they'll put up, and this is what this is, right? And it's, to me, it's like Namor in Wakanda. It just becomes a racist trope.
You mean to tell me a Mexican crossing a border with a wet back is a racist trope? Really?
I mean, I got thick skin, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a woke also, but that's a little too much, don't you think?
A little bit on the nose.
And I'm seeing this a lot in shows. This one's weird because Mindy's the executive producer. I gotta think that she's got some final say in the scripts and vision. So it's not like she handed it off to people that don't know what's up, like a lot of these shows that I'm seeing, like Wakanda, National Treasure, that are just, just ridiculously, racist and stereotypical to a point where it's just one-dimensional characters that are thrown in, or maybe they're the lead, but it's not their world. Like you can tell it's just not authentic, right? So I'm just reading this story from Teen Vogue, and I find it fascinating because
Teen Vogue.
this writer is very, for all intents and purposes, she's pretty woke, but
Yeah.
but her reasons are like, you make a lot of sense on why. So if you got people from all different, aspects, all different angles hating this, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you, Mindy.
Well, this is the thing. She does these stupid self-inserts on every single thing she's involved in. I mean, like, why do you think they changed the character's bloody race? Well, because it's Mindy portraying her. That's the only reason. Like, of course it is. It's a self-insert. And the character of Velma is no different to any of the other characters that Mindy portrays. They're always like, oh, I'm ugly because I'm brown, but blah, 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 blah. It's like, what? Like, it's this sort of self-loathingness that she seems to have, and trying to use that as like, it's like,
if I may, it's not self-loathingness. It's actually bitterness and resentment. That's what it is. It's It's passive-aggressive resentment towards the audience and everyone else. She's not like saying, "Oh, I'm so unattractive because I'm brown." No. It's like, you think I'm unattractive because I'm brown.
Yeah, projection.
And that is what's the thing right here. Which is also like why I'm saying that this whole thing here is cry for help. That is very much so Mindy Kaling's cry for help. There's no excusing her. This thing right here only goes to show that she may try to be funny, but like with so many people who are comedians, they're really deeply tragic characters behind the laughs and the smiles, and that's what we're seeing right here. This is, I mean, this whole series is a really, really expensive therapy session on HBO Max's dime.
Well, there was even rumors that this was supposed to be something else, and they just slapped Velma's name on it. And
that's kind of what I'd heard, yeah.
But I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Well, that's not exactly what I'd heard, because I had posited like that. Normally when a comedian, they get a TV show, they get a cartoon, they're usually the whole centerpiece of the show, right?
Yeah.
In this case, what I'd posited that this sounds like a situation where she would have been better off just doing like Little Mindy's Mysteries and not doing it with Scooby-Doo, but they knew nobody would give a shit. And then after I'd said that, one of my sources reached out to me and said that you're not too far off. Basically, she was pitching some like animated show in this vein, and somebody had suggested making it Scooby-Doo so that it would be more recognizable, basically, because Mindy's shows haven't exactly been big hits.
But that's the other thing as well, isn't it? Like, why on earth do people keep giving this person shows? Like, what are they doing? Like, seriously,
it's equity.
Well, look at this shit. Fucking 6%. Like, everyone hates it. I love this though. There is something good about this. Like, let's be honest. This is the unifying force in the world at present. We no matter where you're from, we can all get behind that. This is just absolute wank, just utterly terrible.
Yeah,
like no one likes this.
I can't believe it got renewed.
Well, someone likes it. Hollywood Chicago.
Well, wasn't it kind of like that the renewal was a formality because 2 seasons were ordered in the first?
No, I checked.
Okay.
It got an original 1 season order. So this came in though right after the first episodes or whatever, and it was a very highly watched show because, as we've said, Scooby-Doo does have a fan base. But that's also
not for long with shows like this.
Well, they're actively against this show. Like, this is what you have now, and this is where like you said, Andre, earlier, that this show's too woke for woke people. Like, I think that's true. I think that's getting to the point where this has been a unifying show where you've got all fronts coming together on this thing going, this is a piece of shit. Right.
It's become it's a parody of itself, basically. Like when wokeness becomes so woke, it becomes a parody of itself. Even the woke tend to find it pretty offensive at that point, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's what's happened here. But there are some people that like it, amazingly. Patrick McDonald, so everyone write this guy's name down, disregard everything he has to say, ever, for eternity. I don't understand the backlash, he says. This is both hilarious, yeah, like pulling a hernia out your rectum, and in the same cadence as Never Have I Ever. To me, a meta and diverse Scooby-Doo comedic reboot makes more sense than an Archie comic to Riverdale. It's called Evolution, people. Zoinks and jinkies.
Tell me you
hell.
don't understand what evolution is without telling me you don't understand what evolution is.
I mean,
And so
Jesus.
yeah, that guy's opinion is something that needs to be disregarded across the board in everything.
Well, this is an interesting one as well. Craig Mathieson. The 25-minute episodes are a suitable delivery vehicle for the humour. Astute observation, I guess. What the fuck is that?
Well,
but across a season, it has a lot of work to do to function as a cohesive whole. 3 out of 5, though.
Yeah, that's not a very resounding review to give 3 out of 5 stars or whatever to.
That's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Again, some of this stuff is so strange. Like,
Yeah,
while
look at
its
May
departure.
Rude. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it just, while its departure from its source material may be a turn off for diehard Scooby fans, it still has a lot of love for the franchise in all its iterations, especially for Mystery Inc.'s beloved brain.
Well, that guy actually sounds like he knows the show a little bit, but I was talking about.
I don't think so because he said it has love for it. Where is this love? All I see is contempt and disrespect.
Yeah.
Well, I just meant that it's not like it's one of the more. It actually sounds like a good review compared to May Rude's review up there, which gives it a B. And it's like if Velma can iron out a few kinks and workshop a few of the worst jokes, it'll become a great lead for Harley Quinn. Time to vindicate Velma.
That doesn't sound positive, does it? But it is somehow a B of all things. The hotly anticipated origin story, the brains behind Mystery Inc. is well worth the wait, with a compelling mystery and even funnier punchlines. Yeah, if the punchline was to your dick with a razor, God. This is garbage. It's so bizarre. But basically, most people hate this, and they hate this for good reason. It's the unifying force. There's actually a lot more people that like this than I thought. Wow.
Are these critics?
Wow, yeah. The Mary Sue, of course they love it.
They don't matter. What matters is the 1.3 reviews on Google, and then you said on IMDb.
IMDb is absolute gold mine.
It's being bombed though, Paulie.
Because it's the bomb or what?
No, they already tried claiming that it was being.
Well, yeah. So everyone's been banging on about it being all. It's all racism behind it. It's got nothing. In fact, no. It's got nothing to do with racism. That's not why.
Oh, we're racist for not liking it.
Yeah, basically.
So I was racist because I couldn't take more than 5 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Even though I'm brown as well.
Welcome to the club, Paulie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess we could call you white now, Paulie. Quite frankly.
Yeah, but like there
hanging out with you guys. Yeah.
There is nothing that is going to turn a brown person into a white supremacist as quickly as disliking a woke production.
Apparently.
Oh, we got Tom Conkle in the chat.
Yeah. Our boy Tom. What's up, brother?
Hey, Tom.
How's it going, man? If I
yeah, because he worked on Be Cool, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, we'll someone send him a link.
I got
Get
it.
him on if he wants. We'll harass you about it. But so that's the other thing as well. So like former Daphne star who did the voice of Daphne on some Scooby-Doo iteration has come out and basically sort of slammed Velma as well, which is very, very funny. Basically everyone hates it openly. Absolutely hates it openly. I'm trying to find out where the which Daphne star it was.
Well, it's one that is afraid that she's not going to be Daphne again because of this. So I don't blame her for being.
Oh wow! It's not like this is going to be taken over anytime soon. But yeah, goodness me, it's not. It's not good. It's not a good show by any stretch. But again, I thought this would be, a sort of a very fun opening. The fact that it is genuinely the worst rated show in animated sort of TV shows, the worst one. That's insane. It's got a 1.3 after 50,000 votes. 50,000 votes. But I think what is interesting about this, right, is that because it is so universally hated across the board, is that you're not getting the sort of frequency and quantity of articles that are claiming everyone is a review bomber that doesn't like it, because there are so many mainstream people that just like, yeah, this is garbage. And so there are obviously some people saying it's, you're a review bomber and you're racist and stuff like this, but there's very little of that by comparison to what they would normally be, because it's just the unifying force right now. Everyone hates it. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Gold, ladies and gents. Gold. So we had, I think we can sort of shuffle on from that, to be honest. I don't think there's much else to say, really. Tom, did you say there was a season 2? Sorry.
Yeah, it seemingly got picked up for a season 2, I guess.
Was David Zaslav out of his fucking mind?
Well, I don't think he made that choice, but I think the choice was made simply off the viewing numbers. But then again, I mean, it's statistics.
He can overrule everything.
He could, but I don't think he's that worried about. It's not in his purview right now.
Oh my God.
Well,
he's got bigger fish to fry, is my point.
Yeah, for one thing, he does. He has that, and also, if someone else has decided that we have the money for it, of course he could go in and overrule it, and it would send a very, very good signal that entertainment is coming back to Marvel. But he would get all the more heat in his direction if he were to go in and shut it down, because remember, all of Hollywood wants to see him fail anyway. Yeah, Hollywood wants to see David Zaslav fail. He's under a lot of heat already. Him shutting down that would just open up even more accusations that he's the orange man bad of Hollywood. That he's now.
I can't find an official confirmation though. All I see is, I guess, something was said by one of the people on the show.
Ugh.
So I don't know. It hasn't. I guess it hasn't technically been officially.
Oh goodness me! And HBO Max.
Well, that's good news.
Oh wow, that was some ASMR from you there, Paulie.
Oh, sorry.
It's because he had his mic muted and not muted on StreamYard, probably.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that's good news that it's not officially.
Yeah, no, that is good news.
Not Absolutely. That I could find here in just a cursory search, real quick.
Yeah, that sounds like one of those kind of rumors that have done the rounds. Then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
But it's shocking to me, like what people cancel and what people look to sort of continue, or even what gets green lights. There are some great HBO Max series that have been cancelled lately.
Well, we get a bit of insight on that kind of stuff as far as like how the corporate mind thinks on green lighting and canceling things through Paul Chatto. He's talked about how sometimes it's some of the shit doesn't make sense to us, but it does to them. And, he does a good job explaining sometimes why that is. But, it just all boils down to, on paper, these things usually look a certain way and, pitched a certain way. And then when you get to the other end, it's a totally different story. But,
And sometimes it's just more worth trouble and cost to cancel something than to just let it fly. Sometimes that is and especially in cases like this, I should imagine, that may be one of the cases where it's easier to just say fuck it than to deal with everything that goes into canceling it.
Well, and Zaz went through the animation department really hardcore and cut a lot of shit. So I imagine what did make it through is, this, like Andre has said a lot of times, this is probably just a data point more than anything at this point.
Yeah. And it's a very good data point, though. That is one thing that I really appreciate with everything being woker than woke, because, it's going to open really huge. But that only means it's going to be a huge drop-off. I mean, they can see the data. They can see that so and so many people watched the first 5 minutes. And they all
Yeah.
drop off right about here, and then they don't come back again. I mean, there's a lot of good data points to be had from something like this, which is another reason why I appreciate it. And the beauty, just let's say for argument that it is cancelled, it's going to continue. Sorry, that it is renewed. Just for sake of argument, well, it's just going to keep on delivering all those data points that can be used to block other similar productions.
Yeah, no, that's
They're
true.
all about
That
data
is true.
points.
Just add that to something like Batwoman, and you got all,
Yeah.
you see how these things just don't work out. The lowest rated show on TV and then the lowest rated show on IMDb. Well, that's 2 data points right there for both of those.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is very true.